What's up everyone, it's TGSF. Last time I covered the story of a character, I covered Michael Afton, the main protagonist of the franchise. Anyway, here is the story of Henry Emily. Here are many ways the story actually start, but a lot are unconfirmed theories, so here will be a lot of interpretation. I'll try to make these interpretation obvious though. His story start when he made Fazbear Entertainment with William. Henry Emily was the father of Charlie Emily and Sammy Emily. By the way, this character ain't even important in the game's timeline, yet. Anyway, he also has a wife. However, a terrible incident happened. The son of his best friend died because of the Fredbear animatronics. To improve the pizzeria, he made the puppet animatronics, an animatronics that would prevent kid to be left alone without parent. One day, his daughter didn't come back home. Henry got worried, prepared for the worst, and unfortunately, he was right. He found his daughter's lifeless body with the security puppet. Henry called the police, which led to an investigation that sadly led to nothing. Something Henry hoped to not be true was the possibility of the killer being his best friend, William. After all, he has always been a jealous guy, but Henry didn't want to jump into conclusion. He spent the next few years grieving. In 1985 didn't help as 5 more kids went missing. Henry couldn't handle it anymore, so to recover a bit he stepped down from being the CEO to recover mentally. In 1987, Henry get contacted by Fazbear Entertainment because for them too the animatronics act too weird. As Henry come back, he learn a night, 6 more kids went missing. Henry inquires information like what happened and who worked in the pizzeria and learns that a man worked as a guard on the night of his murders. Henry later understands that this guard is unfortunately no one other than William Afton, his old friend. Henry denounced him and William was soon arrested, but as the bodies were not found, he was not charged, which allowed his future escape. Henry opened Freddy Fazbear Pizza one more time, but at this point from a business the place failed, so he just let the franchise go and abandoned it. Later in 1995, Henry get a report that something happened to the pizzeria. The animatronics got destroyed and a corpse was found inside a Spring Bonnie suit. William always liked Spring Bonnie. Henry ordered to no longer use Spring Lock and seal the safe room, and left William to die. Even if William was dead, Henry still felt this story wasn't over. He still feared the kid were aware. He still left haunted and he still felt his daughter wasn't freed. But something happened that made it so he couldn't ignore it anymore. 2023, Fazbear Fright opened, just an horror attraction mocking his franchise tragedy, whatever, until he learned, the attractions managed to find a real animatronics from the sealed safe room. Yes, William was back. Henry had to do something about all of that, so he started his plan, studying Remnant, William's old experiment on life and how Remnant worked. He learned Remnant could get neutralized with fire, analyzed the Funtime animatronics blueprint and learned what they are meant to do. He learned they were made to kill kid. They would come in a pizzeria full of kid, so he made a fake pizzeria to bring everyone he needed to end in one place. He designed a robot to capture and bring Puppet, his own daughter, as a way to contain her and bring her to the pizzeria too. And the Saturday, he locked the pizzeria and burned it all. He had an escape plan for the night guard, until he realized the guard was none than Michael, and he himself had his reason to die, so they both remained.
Connection terminated. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Elizabeth, if you still even remember that name, but I'm afraid you've been misinformed. You are not here to receive a gift, nor have you been called here by the individual you assume, although you have indeed been called. You have all been called here, into a labyrinth of sounds and smells, misdirection and misfortune. A labyrinth with no exit, a maze with no prize. You don't even realize that you are trapped. Your lust for blood has driven you in endless circles, chasing the cries of children in some unseen chamber, always seeming so near, and somehow out of reach. But you will never find them. None of you will. This is where your story ends. And to you, my brave volunteer, who somehow found this job listing not intended for you. Although there was a way out planned for you, I have a feeling that's not what you want. I have a feeling that you are right where you want to be. I am remaining as well. I am nearby. This place will not be remembered, and the memory of everything that started this can finally begin to fade away, as the agony of every tragedy should. And to you monsters trapped in the corridors, be still, and give up your spirits. They don't belong to you. For most of you, I believe there is peace, and perhaps more, waiting for you after the smoke clears. Although for one of you, the darkest pit of hell has opened to swallow you whole, so Don't keep the devil waiting, old friend. My daughter, if you can hear me, I knew you would return as well. It's in your nature to protect the innocent. I'm sorry that on that day, the day you were shut out and left to die, no one was there to lift you up into their arms, the way you lifted others into yours. And then, what became of you? I should have known you wouldn't be content to disappear. Not my daughter. I couldn't save you then, so let me save you now. It's time to rest, for you, and for those you have carried in your arms. This ends